evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 9, DJI Mini 3, and other DJI releases. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Darn good, Bill. Just went out for about a 2-mile walk around the neighborhood. So, yeah, not feeling too bad.
And then we have, all the way from sunny Southern Florida, Mr. Matty. How you doing, Matty?
Gentlemen, good to see you as always. Marcus, how you doing, bud?
Good snappy salute there, Matt.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
I try.
Hey, that's a good thing. Our regular co-host, Mr. Ron Braun, is on vacation, and he's vacationing in sunny Florida. So
he's on his way, if he hasn't made it already.
Yeah, that's what Marcus and I were just talking about, Matt. So, Ron, if you're on the road, safe travels. Hope you absolutely, totally enjoy your time with Susan. Have a great time on vacation. If you get a chance, listen to us. We'd appreciate that. Anyway, okay, dispensing with all that stuff, our thoughts and prayers are with not only the Ukrainian people, but the Russian people as well, too, because this is just a total mess. And, it's an understatement to say pray for peace, and that's what we're all praying for right now because, the people are the ones on both sides of the one. It's not the governments. It's the people that really are the ones that lose in this situation. And we pray for both. It's just needless. It's senseless. It doesn't add up. It doesn't register. And our thoughts and prayers are with them because we know there's drone flyers over there too. And I know, with my other hobby with ham radio, and they've kind of been shut down in the Ukraine. They're not allowed to broadcast, and it's really difficult for them to get news. So some people from over in Poland are trying to provide news about what's happening over in the Ukraine. Some other amateur radio operators. So that's a good thing. But again, our thoughts and prayers are with the Russian and the Ukrainian people at this time, and praying for a peaceful resolution to all this. So, all right, with that out of the way, all right, one of the first things I wanted to talk about tonight, and it's really kind of, it's like you can kind of tell when, when a company is trying to take focus off of something else and project it onto something else. Okay, today, and I'm sure you guys get emails from Autel. Guess what they're doing? Okay, they're touting the EVO Lite. All right, and it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm going to go ahead and share my email here with you guys. But I just found it real interesting that they went ahead and said, you know what, we're just going to have a distraction from what's really going on here with stuff. And Sure enough, they sure did. And here's that email, EVO Lite series, and some good good advertisements for it, what it has, and then the different cameras that it has on it, different features, and then you go out there and EVO Lite Plus with the premium bundle is $18.49, so it's not
holy guacamole.
Yeah, so it's nothing to sneeze at here. Kind of stuff. The standard bundle.
Bill, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No.
I'm just thinking at that point, why wouldn't you just buy the Mavic 2 for?
Yeah,
I don't know, or the Mavic 3. I mean,
Mavic 3. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
But seriously, at that kind of price,
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it does have that 6K camera. Okay, but still, even with a standard bundle, it's $15.49. I mean, that's.
Yeah, let me backtrack a little bit, Bill, because I was saying, $21.50 or whatever the Mavic 2 is, but that's also just the standard. So we should compare standard to standard. So it doesn't look quite as bad if you're just thinking about the standard bundle. So
yeah, the standard, it's showing coming soon. It's not. They must have run out of stock for the standard, for the EVO Lite Plus, on the standard bundle. So, but I mean, it's kind of like this old, deflection kind of a thing. It's like, I'll just say, let's just say a celebrity, and there's some bad news about this X celebrity, and then Y celebrity goes out and stubs their toe, and then it overshadows what X celebrity is doing. Well, this is what Autel's trying to do. They're trying to deflect off of everything that's going on with the Nano and the Nano Plus. And, because, I know Marcus has had a good experience with the mothership. I know Johnny Drone Flyer has. Many others have done the same thing, but it's come at a price. And that price, literally, it's come at a price, because part of the reasoning that they raised the prices on it was because of that, because they're taking care of their customers, which is a good thing, but they're passing it on to the consumers at the same time. Thoughts on that, guys?
Well, I mean, the experience that I've had with the Nano and Nano Plus, and it's been a tremendous exercise in frustration. So, I mean, listen, it's hard to argue with that. Now, this light, I've heard really almost nothing but good about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've now, though, heard some people say that, yeah, it struggles in the wind pretty good as well. But other than that, it seems to be a pretty solid drone. And, now that I think back, I'm going to retract a little bit about what I said earlier. Really, it is about $600 cheaper than the Mavic 3. So that is significant.
Yeah, that is a pretty good price drop. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, $600 cheaper than the Mavic 3, but $500 more than the Air 2S. I mean, what are you paying for? Aperture?
Yeah.
And you don't get 10-bit color like you do with the Air 2S. Yeah.
No. I don't know, man. I know they blame the price hikes on tariffs. I don't know why they would spring that out on the consumer after the product has already been pushed out, especially with all the issues that they were having with them. But the Lite Plus, from what I hear from what Ken has told me and others, it seems like pretty solid.
Ken had a pretty good review on it. He did say that there's a couple little quirks on it, but it has that feature where if you're at night, that I guess adjusts the aperture automatically. It takes care of that, and I guess night photography, videography is a blast with this. It really comes out well, which he did. I watched his video on that, but the whole thing again here is, people have a bad taste in their mouth. Okay. And, they're trying to deflect and to get the attention onto this. And then you go up and you look, oh, well, I want to order one. Oh, coming soon. Sorry. It's like, okay, here we go again with this kind of stuff. So, I just found it real interesting that I got this email, and, they're trying to, push the Lite, and almost nobody's talking about the Nano and the Nano Plus. And especially, I'm on a wait list or an email list from several big box retailers, like Adorama, B&H Photo, Best Buy, that type of thing. And I've gotten nothing. I know Ron said he saw it on Amazon. But other than that, it's not really hit any of the big box stores, which for me, okay, in order for me to buy something like this, it's going to have to hit a big box store. Even, Amazon, yeah, that counts too, because they have a good return policy, but it's going to have to hit a big box store. But like Marcus and I were talking last week, Matt, that, this is one of these things that a lot of people are going to just sit back and kind of like, they're just going to take a look at things, and they're going to see things like what happened with Marcus, what happened with Johnny, and like, let's wait here. Let's wait a little bit.
I want to put you in just a little bit more perspective, though. However,
go for it.
So the other day, and I haven't edited and published the video yet, but there was the recent update out for the Nano Plus, and then there was an update out for the Xeno Mini Pro. So I took both of them out to the Snake River Canyon, and I did a little side-by-side flight with them. And let me tell you, you want to see that Nano Plus shine and look like the best drone in the world, fly it right after you flew the Xeno Mini Pro. It was just a pleasure. I mean, the Xeno Mini Pro, I was having disconnects, this and that, and all kinds of issues. And then I flew the Nano Plus and had a near perfect flight. And on top of that, the video quality is just 100 times better. And they're comparable drones. They have the same size sensor. They both have obstacle avoidance. They're kind of fit in that same niche. But let me tell you, the little Autel Nano Plus really shined in that comparison.
Man, and that Xeno Mini Pro had such a chance to shine in the 250 gram market.
Such a disappointment, isn't it? It's just a tragedy.
First ones with obstacle avoidance under 250, that sensor on that camera, they had so much room to take over, and they just completely bombed it.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
It really was, Matt. You brought up a great point, because they could have really captured a great share of the market had the product panned out to lived up to specs. And unfortunately, it was just one of those problem childs. It's just like, and I have to say this, except for DJI, the mini drones that have come out have been problem childs. Okay. The Xeno, Fimi's mini drone, and now Autel, the big players, they've really been problem children. And DJI really hasn't had a problem with their mini drones at all. I mean, other than a standard firmware update or this or that, or an update to the Fly app, boom, it's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they button issues up with their Mini 3 release before it actually releases.
Yeah,
because we've seen nothing but issues with the bigger sensor, the obstacle avoidance, everything on a drone so small and compact. But
to be fair, if you fly the Mini 2 in my mind is still the best mini drone you can buy.
Without a doubt.
I want to say that up front. But number two, when you get camera side by side, the Mini 2 and that Nano Plus, that camera on the Nano Plus, it's better. I'm sorry.
It shines.
It's just better.
Without a doubt. Especially with the RYYB sensor on it.
Right. The only thing that has let it down for me at this point is, and I'm just talking about the camera, I'm just not anything else on the drone, just the camera, is the occasional shake in the video. And they've all but eliminated it, but I still see just a little bit. And you know what? You never see that on a DJI drone. It doesn't happen. Yeah.
What about, did you notice any horizon tilt when you were flying it?
No, I had good horizon the last time I flew it. The only gripe I can say on the Nano Plus when I took it out over the Snake River Canyon the last time was there were a couple of spots that I just can't deny. There was a little bit of micro shake in it. But beyond that, it was flawless.
Well, Matt brought up the Air 2S, and that's one of the things I just, it's one of these drones that you can't let go of. I mean, it does everything. It does it well. It does it very well, and it rivals its big brother. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a drone that does all that the Air 2S does by any other manufacturer. I mean, it really, it's. And even the Mavic 3, I think, personal choice, for me. I mean, I sold my Air 2S. Yeah, go ahead, insert foot and mouth kind of thing here. But if I had a choice to take, when we're going to the meet, I'd bring the Air 2S before the Mavic 3.
All day.
I mean, really.
The heck with that. I'm bringing the Mavic 3. I love
the
Air 2S.
We know how much Marcus loves his Mavic 3.
Yeah. I love the Air 2S. I mean, I do. And I will totally agree with you. The Air 2S, dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
And that includes all the mini drones. That includes everything. Dollar for dollar, the Air 2S is the best value in drones today, period, end of report. And and I would also say, and this is a big statement, before the Mavic 3 came out, the Air 2S was the best drone I've ever owned, period.
Yeah, it's the best drone I've ever owned. I've never owned any of the Autel folding drones. I had an X-Star Premium, and after that one, I gave up. I had a bad situation with that drone, with the batteries, with the customer service. So I just haven't bought another Autel. And to be honest, the Nano Plus and the Lite Plus, the Nano Plus was actually looking on the up and up until they jumped the price up and didn't have their issues fixed yet. And I'm thinking, shouldn't you have? You've pushed so many people off of buying that drone because of raising your price and not having everything fixed yet. I don't understand the logic there, but I'm not.
Yeah. What's the other thing? The 800-pound gorilla in the room. As soon as that Mini 3 comes out, do you think anybody's going to be talking about the Nano or the Nano Plus?
Unfortunately, not.
It'll be history.
Yeah. It's going to be one of these drones that's going to kind of be like, oh, you have a Nano Plus, that's nice. Well, can I look at your Air 2S or can I look at your Mavic 3? It's going to be that kind of thing. It's going to be that quiet child, that sits in the corner and nobody pays attention to it anymore, and with good reason, because Autel's really shot themselves in the foot. I mean, I hate to say it, and Matt pointed it out so well. They're trying to get you to, they still haven't fixed the issues with the Nano and the Nano Plus, so to speak, and they raise the prices before they come out, and then they announce, oh yeah, we did fix it, so come now and buy it. But oh yeah, we had to increase prices and pass on. It's unfortunately because of the tariff, and the tariff's been around, so that just doesn't fly with me.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about flying in the wind, I got a couple of points to make here, and Dr. Bowman made a good point in the chat that the Mavic 3 does not care about the wind. You can fly the Mavic 3; it is so awesome. And that's just one simple point. If you're going to be flying in a lot of wind, trust me, the Mavic 3 is the one you want. But number two, when we talk about these mini drones, now we all know why the DJI Mini 2 is so much more successful in fighting wind because it'll get that 40-degree pitch.
Yep.
Why? Is that some kind of industrial secret or something? Why would Autel design that drone? And I understand that the way it's designed right now, they can't fix it because the front of the drone will get in the way of the gimbal, so they can't fix it. But why didn't somebody think of that when they were designing it? Is kind of beyond me. I don't know. Especially if you saw the progression that DJI made when they went from the Mavic Mini, and that was an issue, right? And so then how they solved that with the Mini 2 was that 40-degree angle of attack. You'd think Autel would have gone to school on that.
My only suggestion would be to not fly the Nano Plus against the wind on your way home. That's the only thing.
Exactly. Against the wind on the way out, with the wind on the way home.
Absolutely, because you can lose it in a heartbeat. I see from watching other videos, that it barely gets to 5-6 meters a second when it's flying in ludicrous against the wind.
In all fairness, though, Matt, it's not that much difference than the original Mavic Mini.
Yeah.
It's about on the same par in the wind.
No, I would expect it to be better, though, with the price point.
I'm with you. I totally agree with what you're saying. I just wanted to make that point.
Definitely don't want to lose a $950 drone.
No, I'm sorry. Southwest Video brings up a great point here. I think Autel made a business mistake by releasing 4 drones at one time. They should have done 2 and then later the other 2. And he's so right. I mean, that
bingo.
They don't have the production capabilities of DJI. Flat out, it's not there. They don't have it. They're a smaller company, all right. And they bit off more than they could chew at this time, and they've cut their staff. I mean, it's not like it used to be. There's barely anybody there for customer support. I mean, when CES was being held, they were all out in Vegas. You called customer support, you gotta, we'll get to you later, kind of a thing. And
call you when we're done at CES.
Yeah, that stuff really kind of doesn't fly. Now, one of the things that was real interesting was our good friend C. Lev put out something else, and Joan DJ picked it up and did an article on that. I want to talk about that for a few minutes here because it's let me get the article up.
This is an interesting one.
Is DJI preparing a spat of new drones activity this spring? Okay. And then today, Aceta Labs Twitter account updated his February 27th tweet stating, 1, Air 2 will have discount. 2, development of Mini 3 has begun. And today's follow-up, the generally reliable DJI information leaker said the Air 2 discount will begin in March 4th, Action 2 included. Shortly before that, a post featured a photo of a diminutive, familiar-looking drone and controller below, heading in a typical company typeface, DJI Mini 3 Pro. Airing towards caution, Autel added the qualifier, before further confirmation, I'll regard this picture as joking. And it is. It's a very bad Photoshop. Whoever tried to do it, it just didn't fly. I mean, you can tell how bad it is. But then further on in the article, Autel's prudence notwithstanding, his tweet regarding the Mini 3 largely corresponds to expectations that arose from information that DJI leaker Deals Drone published in December. That featured a multi-year calendar with a Mini 3 listed on the month of April this year, presumably signifying a release date. At least 5 total products are also on the timetable, including an Inspire 3, FPV Mini, and Pocket 3. And you can see, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago here. Though not necessarily mutually exclusive, Autel's recent info that the Mini 3 has gotten underway may undermine Deal Drone's evidence of an apparent April release. Where Autel's information, hot off the internal DJI press, a February development launch would almost certainly not leave enough time for the company to bring a finished drone to market 2 months later. Still, it's been a year and a half since DJI released the Mini 2, and that's a long time for a tech product to go without a major revamp. What might an update involve? Of course, there's no real evidence, but speculation by DJI customers seems to incur an enhanced camera is given, as well as improved battery life beyond 30 minutes. Wish lists also include full obstacle avoidance, as well as, given the additions of sensors required, a Mini 3 automated subject tracking feature the Mini 2 doesn't have. Also unknown is whether DJI would equip a new Mini 3 with remote ID. The current model lacks part of the package. Okay. All right. Lot to digest here. All right. This is kind of going, what Autel posted was kind of going against what Drone Deals had posted. Okay. Saying that it was going to be an April release. And then he leaks this information, which indicates it's still, they're probably getting ready to start mass producing them now instead of, been mass producing them and getting ready for the April release. It's just, and then there's that bad Photoshop. But one of the things I want to say before I get you guys' input is, these kind of things go out with DJI's blessing. Okay.
Of course.
They don't turn a blind eye. They take any kind of marketing they can get, even DJI. Okay. They'll take it. Anything that's going to bring them, attention, people look them up, that kind of thing. They're going to pay attention to this kind of stuff. So want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything here.
It's a fake ass picture.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely an odd one.
Yeah. And they faked the smart controller and all that business. So somebody was just having fun. But like you said, Bill, at the end of the day, there is a Mini 3 on the way. And what I think we can guarantee is that it's going to have a bigger sensor. Lon was making a comment yesterday on Drone Nation that, everybody's struggling with these bigger sensors. Well, yeah, maybe. But, who can make it work, in my mind?
DJI can.
Yeah.
They always have.
Yeah.
They always have. It's inevitable. We all know it's inevitable. And I can't see them putting out a product that would allow. I know they're not up against. This is not a competition with them and Autel. I understand that. But I can't see them putting a drone out that will allow Autel to take the top of the reign in the 250 gram market. So
totally agree. Totally agree.
I mean, that would just be dumb to put out a drone cheaper, but not as many specs, not as much, obstacle avoidance, better camera and all that. That would just be pointless. You might as well just keep your Mini 2 at that point. So, I mean, DJI has always given us the things that we never thought were going to come. Nobody expected the Mavic 3 to look like it did.
Yeah.
It's weird, the designs. So, I mean, we never know.
Matt, you say the exact same thing. Marcus says that all the time. DJI always gives you something you didn't know you needed. Okay. And they do that time and time again here. And I think that's the thing with the Mini 3. Okay. The obvious things, better camera, better runtime. But Ron and I were talking, and I wanted to get your guys' take on this. Okay, you know, a lot of people out there are really, you know, bent out of shape about obstacle avoidance on a 250-gram drone. Well, let me tell you this, okay? Obstacle avoidance on a drone like the Air 2S, that's needed, okay? Because you're almost, and I'll dare to say, you're almost a professional with a drone like that. I mean, but some people probably use it. So, you know, if you're backing up, that, you know, because you're setting up for a shot, that's going to be great, okay? But if you really think about it, what a Mini 3 is used for, okay, it is more or less, it's a hobbyist drone, okay? It's not, you're not going to find, you know, our good friend Original Dobo going out there to a real estate shoot with a Mini 3, okay? He's going to be going out there with big guns, okay? Something that's going to get him a great shot, and something that he can do something like back up and have that sensor back there and know that, okay? I think, and this is just my personal opinion, Ron and I talked about this, you know, I think an obstacle avoidance is, I would rather have more runtime than obstacle avoidance on a drone like a Mini 3.
Yeah. That's what I would say. I mean, I don't use the obstacle avoidance on my Air 2S, but I know a lot of people that do. Unfortunately, the one rule in my mind, in my opinion, is don't rely on it. It's not something you want to get used to, relying on obstacle avoidance, because that's how you end up with problems.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like my wife tells me I have blind spot monitor on my Toyota Highlander, you know, and it's nice. But one of the things that I always do, I always look over my shoulder. My dad yelled at me. My dad taught me how to drive. He yelled at me for looking over my shoulder all the time. He says, "Who taught you to do that?" I said, "Mom did." I mean, you know, and because I, you know, while I trust the blind spot monitor almost, you know,
yeah,
there's just a little part of me that needs to be 100% sure that there's nobody in that lane. And I've always done that. That's going to be, you know, every day I drive.
I'm an old truck driver. I've got to have good mirrors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you know, it's like that's the way that is. So, you know, it's exciting. You know, and I think for me, as far as timing is concerned, you know, I think this article is designed to generate some interest, some information. I think we're closer rather than further away.
Yeah.
For something like this. I think Drone Deals was probably right. You know, Acetylev gets a lot of information and he throws it out there, but you know, whether it's true or not, it still gets that attention for DJI. It still brings the attention and the focus on them. You know
what would be cool and save weight if you think about it? You know,
What's
those
that?
fisheye lenses they have on the Mavic 3 now? Put one of those on the front and the back of the Mini 3 and you'd be good. Right? It would save weight.
I'm
that
no
would be
engineer.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm no engineer, but whatever the DJI engineers think, I think Lauren is making good point in the chat. Sub 250. The reason OA might be a good idea is, for sure, it is often a first drone for people, and you know, if it saves somebody putting it in a tree or something, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's a great tool for people that are just starting out in the hobby, or people that are just, like you say, flying as hobbyists.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, exactly right. That second Nano Plus that I got from Autel, the first one I had, the obstacle avoidance was just wonky as all get out. In fact, it was to the point that it was really useless and it was more of an annoyance than anything. But the second one that they gave me, man, it worked pretty damn good. They had it down pat, and it had good warnings and worked just like it should.
Well, Lauren just posted, as I keep saying, stay tuned for scheduled leaks third week of March. So there you have it, folks. You know, I think I really believe it's sooner rather than later. I think this was done as I don't want to call it a publicity stunt, but you know, for lack of a better term, it probably was, and it brings the attention back to the mothership, back to DJI. You know, it's like you know, Autel's making noise, or somebody else, Hubson's making noise, and then when DJI says something, everything else stops. Okay, everybody starts paying attention to DJI. You know, in that, you know, and the other part of this too here, with all this and kind of getting lost in the sauce is, they did also talk about some other upcoming items, like an Inspire 3 is coming out, like a Pocket 3 is coming out, FPV Mini coming out, which is exciting. I mean, the DJI's plate is going to be very full this year. Okay, they're going to have a lot of releases. And one of the things I'd like to talk about, and I was kind of thinking about this today, was the last time they had an in-person release event was back in August of 2018. Valerie and I went to that. Billy was there. Ken was there. Rick Smith was there. Ed Ricker was there. Kelly was there. It was
Maddie was there.
I wish.
It was a first-class event. They did it the right way. I mean, it was like they spared no expense. It was in the Brooklyn Naval Yard. And then they gave us an SD card when we walked in, and nobody could figure out why. Well, they had drones set for us to fly, and they got permission from the city of New York for us to fly out over the Hudson River that day. Okay, because as you know, you can't fly a drone in the city of New York, and that includes, the river and also the boroughs like Brooklyn. You can't fly. Well, they got us permission to do that day, and I played Chicken Little. I was watching.
Oh, I can imagine. That was the Mavic 2 Pro, correct?
Yeah. No way was I going up. But I watched people, and I got a lot of great video of people flying there. And it was great. It was like right down by the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, it was like very scenic. And I mean, it was just fantastic. And it was a great time. But they've kind of changed their modus operandi. And of course, a lot of that has to do with COVID. But and even before COVID, they were still, they started doing like the web only online kind of events, or, have a canned video, and then, at 10 p.m. or at 9 a.m., release it, which I think in the long run, it saves them a bundle of money. Because I can tell you this, the place that they rented that day and what they did there, that was some serious coin. I mean, they had like finger food for us that was like upscale finger food. And I mean, it was really nice. They went all out. They went all in.
Bill, are you saying that they had bacon wrapped shrimp?
No, it wasn't bacon wrapped shrimp, but the other ones, both Valerie and I gobbled them up. They were great. And they served orange, like this chilled orange juice and like Perrier in these wine glasses. And it was just, I mean,
jeez. It'd be fun if they did another one.
Oh,
it'd be kind of fun.
I got to meet the presenter that day too. Kelly introduced me to him. So, but I think, all in all, what I'm saying is DJI has gotten smart in terms of their marketing dollars and their marketing focus. And, they're not doing these anymore. And I think it's kind of smart, obviously because of COVID, but also for them, it's saving them money. And I think that's good too. And I think that it ends up that cost is being, when you have an event like that cost is passed on to the consumer. All right. Yeah. So one of the other things I wanted to bring up, which is really interesting, and I kind of thought about this, was, okay, in the drone world, okay, we talk about NDAs and, all the reviewers having over the ones that have over 100K usually, like Kelly or, Aldrin or Billy or Rick Smith, they're the ones that will get drones ahead of time. And, when it gets released, their videos out there and we get to see them. And more often than not, I would say 9 times out of 10, that drone is theirs to keep. All right. Well, what's real interesting is, okay, my other passion is ham radio. In the ham radio world, there are several guys over 100,000 subs that I watch, and they're great and they do a great job. What happens there is some of these, there's like 4 major ham radio outlets in the United States: Gigaparts, Ham Radio Outlet, DX Engineering. Okay. What they'll do is they'll send a radio to one of these guys, but it's on loan. Okay. And it's brand new out of the box. They'll set it up. They'll do a walkthrough, just like we do an unboxing. They'll do a setup and run it for about a week or so. And then they ship it back, which I think, I was kind of thinking of the dynamic of this, which is really interesting. you know, there's only a limited number of manufacturers for ham radios. Okay, it's not like, I mean, I won't say limited, but the big players. Okay, and the better ones are Japanese versus the Chinese kind of a thing. So I don't know. I just found it terribly interesting that they do things like that, and they don't let them keep the radios. And the radios in most instances are a whole lot less than the drones. I'll tell you that. So, but
Yeah,
anyway,
you would think. I mean, these guys get to keep these drones because people like Aldrin and Cannon and Kelly and them, when there's updates to these drones, these are the guys we're looking at to see what these updates are all about. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to send the drone back and then not be able to. Well, you know, come on.
Yeah, Maddie, what the heck?
Okay, damn it, I'm never gonna hear the end of this now.
Don't go ahead. Just kidding.
I'm never gonna hear it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna get a bunch of thumbs down on my videos now. Now I know where they're coming from. No, dude. I gotta give it to you though. I do, because you're one that goes back. A lot of people you see on the YouTube channels, they don't go back to these drones. It's like a one and done type of thing. Right. I wish there were more people like you out there, bro, but unfortunately, they're not everywhere.
Thank you, Maddie.
I want to personally thank you, by the way, also for sending the drone mask and the that SJRC drone to give away at the meetup.
The F7 and the F7. I mean, you know, some of those drones are. I'm going to call it a toy drone, but of those kind of drones, it's a good one. So
somebody's going to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be ordering some things to bring to the meetup to give away, and hopefully, you know, some swag from Bill the RC reviewer. I'm going to be giving away some things. So, for those of you that will be attending, you know, look forward to this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And you know what? And I'm going to say this, and I know this already to be the case. Okay, if you still haven't had a chance to think about coming to this, and if you can, do so. It's going to be a total blast. Okay, all right. You know, Dobo's going to be there. All right, and if Dobo's there, you know there's going to be fun. All right, and I hope is Billy supposed to come?
Billy is coming.
Oh,
yep.
When
he's driving down.
It's some serious fun. Okay, it's just some serious fun.
It's going to be a blast, man. I mean, last year we had 50-something people there, but we didn't even fly that much. It was more about just everybody hanging out with each other.
And you know what, really, Matt? It's exactly what I was going to say. You know, it's like, you know, and I know from when Marcus and Ron went to Spin Up, you know, it's like, okay, the lectures are great and everything, but you know, it's really getting together, you know, having some food, having something to drink, and just sitting down and shooting the breeze. I mean, that's what this is. That's the best part about it, you know.
We had more fun in the hotel lobby and Spin Up than we did anything else. Just a bunch of us hanging out in the lobby for hours on end. It was just fun. It's the first time I met him in person. It was a blast.
We were sitting there talking about drones so much, I spent $2,200 on a new one in that lobby.
In that lobby with you and Michael Wright did it, didn't you? Michael did it too.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good, and that's a good thing. And one of the things I want to give some special shout outs right now. One of them is to Ray Kelly. Okay, now Captain Ray. Now I got to say this. Okay, I don't think there is a more enthusiastic person about drones than Captain Ray. Okay, and it's genuine and it's real. And you know what, folks? If you don't think he walks the walk and talk the talk, okay, get to be friends with him on Facebook, okay? Because every single day he's going out, he's more often than not the Air 2S, taking his boat out, you know, and you're getting some shots from Captain Ray every single day, okay? And you know, in the show, okay? And by the way, I'm going to be on their show next Wednesday, so you guys can tune in. I got invited from Johnny, which I am really looking forward to, you know, and Johnny too, okay? Both of those guys. I mean, they have a great show, and I really encourage you guys to watch that. But you know, again, you know, and I got to say this, I'm really looking forward to meeting Captain Ray, because you know he's just so enthusiastic about it, and it's genuine, it's real, and he just loves it, and that's one thing that I just really gravitate towards. And Ray,
he's a lot of fun.
Our hats off to you. It really is.
He is. He's a lot of fun to be around, and I'm fortunate enough to live close enough to him where we can, you know, see each other anytime.
That's fantastic.
Schedules getting away a little bit. I'd like to see him more than I have, but yeah, he's one of those guys that when you're the dude, you could tell the dude just loves to fly drones. And then the videos he does, he loves making the videos. He has fun doing it. He's one of those guys. He's outspoken, man. Absolutely love him.
He really is. And one of the other people I'd like to acknowledge tonight is Stephen Ewing. Okay. Guys, I've known Stephen. Stephen, I've known you for I don't know how many years now. And it's 0 dark 30 where you're at in your corner of the world right now. And you're up and you're watching our show. Okay. And my hat is always off to you for spending part of your very early morning with us. And, we can't thank you enough for that. And thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your emails. And I want to thank you, not only you, Stephen, but for everyone who has sent me emails and, notes of encouragement during, Valerie's father passing away. You guys, that's what this drone community is all about. Okay. And you know what? I'll tell you what, if the world were to operate like us together as a drone community, when we're pulling for one another, there wouldn't be any problems in this stinking world. Seriously.
You got that right. I love the people in this place. And I'll tell you, let me tell you something from a younger person perspective. I've never had more older friends in my life. And you guys are so much freaking fun to be around that it's like, I feel like the people my age, I pay no attention to these freaking people anymore. It's all about you guys and it's all about this community. And I am so happy that I have met all of you. It's absolutely changed my life completely.
Well,
that's really touching to hear, Matt. That is, thank you.
It's true.
And that's very, very
You guys
cool
are awesome.
Thank you, Matt. We us old farts appreciate it. And I got to thank Bob Dempsey for that. And Bob's another one. Okay. Yeah. Bob just absolutely loves drones, and him coming up with that group and the name and everything has just been, my hat's off to Bob for doing that. I think that's fantastic. And you've generated, a lot of interest in this. One of the things, and Matt, you brought up a great point. It's like, what I find, okay, like in ham radio, okay, they have, there's a terminology called an Elmer, and that's an experienced ham radio operator helping a newbie out. Okay. They're called Elmers there. Okay. Well, I just joined a club like right by where I live, and dues are real cheap. It's like $20 a year, and they have radios you can go down there and use if you want. And, they have outings and other things like that. But what's really interesting is I'm going to be 64 and I'm one of the younger guys there. Okay. I'm serious. Most of these guys are in the mid 70s to early 80s.
You want to feel like a young punk? I'm 65. I go to those Corvette Club meetings, and man, I feel like the youngest guy there.
Oh my gosh! See, that just it never fails to amaze me. And you know what? These guys are great, and their big concern, for example, with ham radio, is not enough young people are getting interested in it. And that's one of the things. Over the course of the summer, I'm going to be starting a ham radio channel, and I've gotten to know a lot of these guys like online, and I'm really good friends with them. And one of the things that I want to make a point of in this is studying and getting your licenses. It's super easy. Okay, it is not hard at all. And you know what? The FAA could take a lesson on how to conduct business because the FCC has their crap together. I'm going to tell you this. Because once you get your license, okay, there's 3 levels of license that you can get. And I'm at the 3rd tier. It's called Amateur Extra. I can talk on all bands, okay? Once you get that, okay, it lasts for 10 years. You renew it. You get a reminder to renew it at your 10th year. All you got to do is send your money to the FCC and you're done. There's no retaking of tests. There's no nothing, okay? And it's all electronic. Boom, done. History, okay? Which I think is great, okay? And the FAA, they're starting to get better about stuff, but it's certainly taken a while, as far as the Part 107 was concerned. And I'm really glad to see they've done what they did with the Part 107 and how that's administered now and, how everything is done. And my hat is off to them because they're finally catching up to the modern age here.
Yep. Yeah, been able to do that recurrent test online, free. Isn't it free? It's free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just so much, makes it so much easier on people.
It really
does.
Really is. Well, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, kind of like we can wrap things up, is, remote ID. We haven't heard a whole lot about it lately. And, it's kind of, it's kind of like that bad child, you're kind of like pushing to the edge of the room, and you don't want to hear from them for a while. Okay. You want to kind of like, go watch TV, you're being bad, go watch TV, go to your room, read a book, whatever kind of a thing. It's kind of like it's being pushed out of the way. And, we haven't heard a whole lot about it, but, it's going to be coming up.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's inevitable. It's coming. It's just a matter of how the rules are set when it does.
Them over it, though. There's
race day quads.
Yeah.
Race day quads is still in a battle with them in a court. Now I was going to say earlier, that's by the way, that's probably one of the main reasons for that DJI FPV Mini is to keep it under 250 grams because of that remote ID. I think that's the reason they're doing it.
Dr.
Yeah,
Ted?
I know. But here's what bothers me about that, though, Matt. As a Part 107 pilot, is that going to push me out of mini drones then? Because I have to have remote ID on it if I'm using it for anything Part 107, and evidently making a YouTube video is.
Like a Mini 3, that's one thing. I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping they push remote ID through firmwares when it comes to like DJI drones and Autel. But that FPV Mini, I don't think you'll see very many people using that 107. That'll just be one of those fun FPV quads to go out and fly, so you don't have to deal with it. I think that's the reason they're going Mini, is to get it under the 250, so the people that just want to have fun with it don't have to worry about this module and all that crap.
Right.
Well, I wanted to answer a question for Dr. Ted put up there that my batteries take forever to charge on the Mavic 3. You having the same issue? And Dr. Ted, I wanted to. I had that initially, and I found out what I was doing, and it really was kind of, a lesson learned. Okay, now this is the charger for the Mavic 3. All right. Now this is plugging the USB in, and then charging the remote controller. But guess what I did? Okay, at first, and I shared this with Marcus and Ron. I was plugging this in to the battery, okay, and it was taking forever to charge. And I found out what I was doing. I was using a port that was designed to charge the controller and not the batteries. Okay, so said goodbye to this, got this, and directly with this, boom, no problems. Okay, so that may or may not be your issue, but I'm saying you may want to look at that.
Take a look, because I don't think we've seen very many problems with the Mavic 3 batteries charging slowly. So that most likely will be the issue, is just using the wrong. And
cable. I actually got their little charging pad, from DJI. Yeah. I had DJI credit to use, so I bought one of them, and it's nice. The nice thing about it is, even though it charges them in series, but it takes the one with the least amount of charge and charges it first. Okay. Yeah. And it goes in order. And what's nice is it's all automatically done. It goes from one to the next, which is great. I only have 2 batteries anyway. So, that was another thing that I decided with the Mavic 3. I only got 2 batteries because, the runtime on this, I've gotten a solid 30 minutes out of it. I mean, and I was, pretty much half time in sport mode. So I was pretty much booking it, and I got 30 minutes out of it. So I was pretty pleased with the runtime that I've gotten from the Mavic 3. And the batteries, I only need 2. I don't need 3.
You can get a lot done with one bat. Like, there's a lot of people that do 107 work with that Mavic 3 that can get multiple shoots done with one battery.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
These guys don't sit up in the air for 20, 25 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
They're constantly taking off, bringing it down, taking off, bringing it down.
No, because they're sitting on the ground waiting for satellites. That's why they're not in the air.
Yeah, no crap.
Now I know Ray had posted something about
Yeah.
Today. It only took him 3 minutes to acquire satellites. So that's a good thing too. So and that's the other elephant in the room. This whole GPS, GLONASS, that kind of thing with DJI, and I'm sure that somebody's burning the midnight oil with DJI trying to address this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm boycotting GLONASS.
I think they'll fix it. The GLONASS better be on that Mini 3.
Yeah, it better.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So, Marcus, any closing thoughts tonight?
We had it was cloudy and we had a little bit of rain, but it finally is warming up here. And we are coming into prime drone flying time right now, where we're going to get some good, nice weather through the spring. And what I'm saying is, guys, fly what you got. Don't wait for that Mini 3 or whatever the heck it is you think is just over the horizon. Fly what you got, get out there and have fun, because I'm telling you, that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I do. I fly what I have. I don't worry about what's coming until it comes. Although I will tell you, I already have the Mini 3 bought and I haven't even seen it yet. That is going to be my next drone, because I'm going to have a backup for my Air 2S, and the Mini 3 is going to be it. Other than that, though, as you guys know, I've been dumping all my time and effort into these things. So
you're addicted.
Yeah. Speaking of good weather to fly in, 32 days, you'll be down here in South Florida.
Yes,
so,
we're hoping.
Can't wait.
32 days.
And I got to say this, the weather is finally starting to get to the point that, we're getting more 80 degrees than not. And, today was a little down, but over the weekend, I mean, there were people up at the pool swimming. It was warm enough to get in the pool to do that. And we had lunch outside, and it was very nice. So, that's a good thing. I'm really crossing our fingers, because I know when you guys, Maddie, last year when you guys met, it was not conducive to flying. It was
windy. It was windy. We got a little bit of flying in. I flew my Air 2. Hell, Bill Ronayne put his Mini 2 up in that weather, and it held its own. But I guess Ray has put in for good weather, so I think we're all right. I guess we'll find out in 32 days, but I think we'll be okay. April's a really good time of year this year for down here.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think the timing is great. And, and I think it's going to be good, for us, personally, for Valerie and I, it'll be good to get out and get away for a couple of days, because, we've been, since, we had my daughter, granddaughter, and son-in-law down for a week for Christmas, and it was awesome. But, with everything that went on with her father and everything, there's a lot of stress, and there's just a lot of, we kind of kept close to the vest and everything, and now, it's like, and I told Valerie, I said, this is a perfect time to get out and get away for a couple of days. And she agrees with me. I mean, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of losing our dog too. And, it's just like, we used to have to plan our trips around our dog, and now we don't have to do that. I mean, it's not saying it's a bad thing, but, it's like, we don't have that right now. And I think, and I told her, I said, let's enjoy this time. Let's have some fun. And
it's going to be one of those weekends where you just leave everything behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You spend it with friends, and, it's almost like a monster family reunion is what it is.
It is.
You know what I mean?
You put it so well. It really is, because we're all family. It's like, Ron and I and Marcus, we talk ad nauseum offline. I talk to a lot of other people offline as well too.
Yeah.
Personal times that I've had, like with Billy, with Ken, great, and Rick Smith. I mean, these people, they're great people. They're really great people. And, they will do anything to help you guys out. Especially you new persons out there, and don't be shy. And that's one of the other things, if you're new, if you're watching us for the first time, welcome. Hope you subscribe to all of our channels, but the one thing we want you to take away is we're here to help. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, one of the reasons I started the channel was, and I'm going to wrap things up here, one of the reasons I started the channel was I saw in a lot of the forums are brutal places. People can be really absolutely downright nasty and mean in forums. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start a channel, and I'm also going to do a group where, you know what? No question. The only question that's a stupid question is the one you don't ask. Okay. No matter how basic it is, no matter how simple it is, I've always told that, like, to my moderators in my groups, my admins in my groups, I've told them that. I said, you know what? Don't ever, always let people ask questions. Okay. Don't ever stifle them. And that's one of the things I found, like in ham radio groups, it says in there, please don't ask general questions because do a search and they've probably already been answered, kind of a thing. No, and that's fine for them, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. But the way I want things run, somebody has a question, I want to be there and answer it. I had a guy, I got him the original DJI Mavic. All right. I was trying to put that doggone plastic gimbal cover back on. Okay. And I could not figure out how to get it back on the drone. He put together a 10-second clip and put it out on Facebook, showed me how to do it. Okay. And I have used so much praise for that. And I thank the admin for that group. And and I'm still a member of that group to this day because he went out of his way to show me that. Okay. And that's the thing that I absolutely love. And I want to do, and I want to do with other people, and that's why you guys are like that. And everybody I know, in the drone world is like that too, is to help out newbies. So with all that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Ron, hope you're having a great vacation. Enjoy yourself. Take care. And remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
Good night.